Tony Mokbel could right now be tucking into a pizza on this, his first night as a free man. The underbelly kingpin started out running a pizza joint, but became the Mr. Big of Melbourne's drug trade. He's been granted bail after serving 18 years of a 26-year sentence.
Mr. Mokbel, do you count yourself lucky? After 6,513 nights in a prison cell, Tony Mokbel walks. He arrived in a maximum security armoured Bearcat. He left a free man. The 59-year-old sentence is due to expire in 2037, but today he was sensationally bailed while applying to have his drug convictions quashed because his lawyer, Nicola Gobbo, was secretly snitching on him to Victoria Police. Any words for Nicola Gobbo, Mr. Mokbel?
And she basically double-crossed him.
Dozens and dozens of people have lined city streets here hoping to catch a glimpse of Tony Mokbel. Inside the courtroom, it was standing room only. I was right next to some of Tony Mokbel's supporters, some of his family members, and after news of his successful bail bid came down, he turned to them and winked. So, how did this pizza parlour owner become the Mr. Big of Melbourne's drug trade, then Australia's most wanted?
He is a likeable rogue.
And ultimately, he ran a $400 million enterprise. He had $55 million worth of assets seized, which he didn't get from making pizzas with a lot.
Tony Mokbel was never afraid to flaunt it.
Just the property portfolio was absolutely phenomenal. Racehorses, Ferraris.
His career, if you'd call it that, began in the 90s when the high school dropout led betting ring the Tracksuit Gang.
I'll give him a chance. I'll take the lot off.
By 2000, Mokbel had imported millions of dollars of drugs. While on bail for that, and fearing he may be implicated in underworld murders he was never convicted of, Mokbel fled, hiding in this farmhouse in the holiday town of Bonnydoon. Then he infamously set sail for Greece aboard 17-metre yacht Edwina. A $1 million bounty was put on Mokbel's head. Eventually arrested in an Athens cafe, found with this doctored passport in the name Stephen Pappas. And how's this for his disguise that clearly wasn't fooling anyone?
Good evening. An exclusive interview tonight with drug lord Tony Mokbel, who's spoken to National 9 News from inside his Athens prison cell.
So what was going through your mind as the police moved in and arrested you at the cafe?
I was a relief. Funny enough, I thought, oh well, this is the end of the road, you know, like, for the moment this is the end of the road.
Mokbel made his grand arrival back in Australia on a private police chartered jet.
Do you think you'll be coming back to Australia soon?
I hope not. Like what we said to the court, anyway, we have a fair trial, I'm ready to go. So.
The Age crime writer John Sylvester.
The Victoria police officer who went over was Jim Coughlin. And when Tony recognised Jim as part of the team that was the arresting party, he actually congratulated him on a first-class piece of policing.
Mokbel was finally locked up for 30 years.
He pleaded guilty to multiple drug trafficking charges because he believed the evidence was overwhelming.
But in 2018, it was revealed his barrister had betrayed him. Was this Mokbel's golden ticket?
The fascinating thing about Tony getting bail is that that has to be an assurance that he wouldn't abscond on bail, which he already has done. For the Court of Appeal to give him bail indicates they obviously think the case for acquittal is very strong.
Among the reasons for bail, his legal team argued Mokbel's declining health following this brutal prison ambush in 2019.
Tony Mokbel, I've had a couple of dealings with him. He's, one of those likeable rogues. He makes no bones about it. He's not violent in himself that I'm certainly aware of.
Former Victoria Police Detective Charlie Bazina.
remember speaking to him when he was in an apartment down here at South Bank, and I spoke to him over another investigation I was doing. I can recall one of his responses was, prison time is like army time. He knows the consequences of dealing in drugs or committing offences.
Mokbel's notoriety even led to his story being told on the small screen.
Putting guns in people's faces. Do you know who you're talking to?
But in the end, he lost everything.
Oh, well, he had over 50 investment properties, 30 cars, 4 jet skis, a country pub, some restaurants, his own fashion label. Police managed to seize $55 million worth of assets, and they believe they didn't get it all.
Tonight, Tony Mokbel will spend his first night on the outside at his sister's place with a GPS tracker strapped to his ankle.
You must be relieved your brother's coming to live with you. Are you concerned he might try and flee again, Mr.
If his convictions are quashed, Mokbel could be in line for a mozza.
And I think every chance that it might be favourable outcome for himself.
If the sentence is quashed, can he not ask for his $55 million back and his wig?
Any plans to buy another yacht, Tony?
And Tony Mokbel's appeal hearing is set down for later this year.